There we go. It's working. Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the regular Thursday Hangout. Today I have 1.5 guests at the moment. Andrew from Money Mental is with me. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you, Nick?
Yeah, very well. And we do have Rod, Pommy Picker from Down Under, but we're having audio issues. So, shall we say, we can't hear him. So we're gonna, but yeah, I can see the mic, Rod, but it's not working.
Have you plugged it in, Rod?
We may be conducting this via sign language. Anyway, yeah, welcome. We will carry on. Hopefully, Rod will sort his tech out. We thought we'd just come and have a chat, make it something a little bit different. We're going to talk about motivations for why we do this. I think there's as many different reasons for getting into reselling as there are resellers. It can be as simple as I need money. It can be other motivations. And I think mine certainly varies quite a lot from Andrew's reasons for getting into this. And if we can get Rod on, we'll ask him his reasons for getting into reselling. And I thought it'd be a good springboard to get some chat from and questions from the side chat, and we'll see where it takes us. So if you are watching live, you can comment in the live side chat. The first in today was Adrian. How are you doing, Adrian? Hope you're well. Gary is in. Alan, which is Chelsea. Peter Ray. I was watching Pete's live earlier. And lots of people. I will scroll down. So if you do have any questions or you want to let us know your take on it, what got you into reselling, what your motivation is to keep reselling, let us know. We'll try and read those out. We'll try and keep an eye on it. So while we're waiting for Rod to fiddle about with his mic. Oh, that worked.
Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
You've plugged it in now, have you, Rod?
Can you hear me now?
Turned it on.
Don't change what you're doing. I can hear you loud and clear right now.
I can't sit like this for an hour.
What did you press then?
I don't know.
Well,
have you got it on omnidirectional, or have you just got it on monodirectional? Because it might just be on monodirectional.
I've
probably just blown his head, haven't I?
Yeah.
You might have to have it pointing in the right direction for you. It might be set to monodirectional at the minute.
Well, set it down and see if it still works.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yep. Perfection.
Well, good morning.
Hey, Rod. Good to see you. Let's do a quick intro to Rod as well. This is Rod. Do you want to do a quick intro to yourself for those that may not have seen you when you came on last time?
My name's Rod, Pommy Pickers. Used to live in the UK. Emigrated to Australia 10 years ago now. And continued my reselling, wheeling and dealing, stroke Arthur Daly lifestyle down under. And it's now 3 a.m. So that's how committed I am.
Yeah, we do appreciate that commitment to the cause.
Mm.
We didn't really give you a chance to introduce yourself, Andrew, in case my viewers haven't stumbled across your channel yet. Let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Andrew. I run the Money Mental UK channel. I'm a part-time eBay reseller. And I also run the Money Mental support group on Facebook as well for resellers with mental health issues. And I do videos about reselling, mental health, and the occasional cookery video, which is not actually involving any cooking.
Yeah. So who wants to lead off? Rod, what motivated you, or what was the instigation for you to become this this flipper of tat that you have become? What was the motivation to get into it?
I can't really pinpoint an exact reason, because I've been doing it since school. Right. Even at like 14-year-old, still, like, used to get dinner tickets at school, and I used to be selling them. Just anything really, just to make that. I just think it's inherent in my genes to want to try and make some extra money. And then eBay came along in, I think in the UK then, was it about 98, 99?
Yeah, that's certainly when I got involved. I think it launched around sort of 95, but yeah, 98, I think they started pushing it in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was on eBay from then, and I had a massive feedback when I came to Australia. But the Australian eBay wouldn't let me transfer that account over, so I had to start afresh. So yeah, I've got several accounts because I've always been a believer in not putting your eggs in one basket. You know, especially with, I mean, YouTube, I've experienced recently a bit of, excuse me, bad comments, if you like, and what have you, and people can be vindictive, and you know they like building people up, but they're ever so quick to knock them down. And you know they can go on your eBay account, find it out, and it can cause some serious damage. So that's why I've got, well, 3.5, if you like, eBay accounts. Not everything I've shown when I do the waffle on a Wednesday with Andrew over here is on any of the other accounts. I keep them separate because I don't want any, you know, it's like a insurance policy, really. So yeah, but as to a date, I can't really give you a date as to when. It's just I've always been dabbling in something.
It's a common thread. A lot of people I've had on this show over the years have said, you know, I was that kid dealing in sweets in the corner of the playground and, you know, trading cards and stuff like that. And I think we've all got a certain element of that in us, certainly, to persevere in this, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of hassle, and sometimes not for amazing amounts of money. But I think you have to have that desire to be a tap flipper to really stick at it.
I think there's a lot that I've noticed on, like, the UK reselling community. It seems to be massive. You know, the Facebook group, it's huge. It's not as big over here, but there is an Australian resellers Facebook group. I think there's about 500 members at the moment, but there's a lot of new people coming on, and I think they see it as an easy way of making some money. But as soon as they encounter any issues with returns or eBay policy, they're all falling by the wayside. So I think you do have to have that mentality to persevere with it. Otherwise, you just call it a day. You know,
you've got to see the bigger picture, really, haven't you? You know, we're going to get returns and such like, but you look at your figures over a year, it's just a drop in the ocean. Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah.
You're doing something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I just need to mention Spike Lee has super chatted. Thank you. I appreciate that.
The actor.
He says, love your channel. Thank you. So if I ask you, Andrew, regarding your reselling, now I also should say as well, both you guys are currently working, and reselling is something part-time on the side. Is that right?
Yeah.
And for you, Andrew, what motivates you to carry on reselling outside of your work? Because I know you work as a civil servant.
Yeah, so my story's a bit different. I came to reselling sort of fairly late. After, it was Nick's fault. I watched some of his videos and that was it. Dragged me in. I had it's a bit of a slightly tragic story in that I suffer with anxiety, and part of that sort of relief for that anxiety that I was seeking led me into a path of doing online gambling, and I lost about £55,000 in the course of about a month. So I was like the worst gambler ever. So I had to
I mean we've talked about this in private, but in the course of a month,
yeah,
shocker. I mean, it was a big enough figure when you shared that with me. I was like, wow, that's, you know, a lot to overcome. But in 1 month, that was some serious goings.
Yeah, when I do something, I go for it. Go big or go home. Wow. But yeah, so then I was in a position of I need to pay that back. So I was looking. I did a lot of things to try and, you know, A, stop gambling, and B, sort of repay some of that money. So I was doing things like mystery shopping, and I was going around stacking shelves in my spare time, whatever. And I was just absolutely killing myself. And then I came across your channel, saw this sort of reselling lark, and thought, well, actually, you know, historically I flipped stuff in the past before and made money out of it. And actually it kind of appeals to my mindset. And like the sourcing, for example, that sort of replaced my addiction, my need to gamble with the, well, I'm still kind of gambling, but I'm picking up stuff in the hope that I'm going to flip it and make a good profit on it. And I am doing that. So I sort of managed to get into it, set up a business, been doing it for a year. And in that year, I've managed to pay off I'm on about 42 grand now. So I paid off about 13 grand in a year, I worked out earlier.
That's impressive on a part-time basis to knock that much off it. That's huge.
So, and it's all your fault, not the gambling, but the reselling. And it's sort of, it's, as I say, it's helped feed that addiction as well. Give me something new to focus on. It's improved my confidence a lot mentally as well. It helps. I do find it helps a lot with my anxiety. Gives me that sort of focus. And yeah, the motivation is I want to get out of that debt. But actually, I don't know, George Ross talks about this a lot, that finding something and flipping it and getting that sort of sense of achievement from it, that buzz, is what really keeps me going.
I can really see how it would replace that addiction, that gambling element, because as you rightfully said, it's not really gambling because it's a measured, calculated purchase, and 9 times out of 10 we should be safe that we're going to make money on it. So it's not really gambling, but it's got an element, and you get the buzz when you flip it and you make the money. So I assume that's replacing that adrenaline rush. I mean, have you conquered the gambling thing? Is that in your past?
Yeah, I haven't done that for well over a year now. 18 months, maybe even 2 years.
That's
so
good.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's just been replaced with something far less harmful, really.
Fantastic. I saw a few comments going past of people sharing why they resell. Let's see if I can find some of them. If you see any, do read them out. Michaela Huish, I think it is, bringing up children, one with severe disability. I'm so out of the loop. I honestly couldn't and wouldn't want to go back to the corporate world now. My children are growing up, love the hunt and flexibility. So that's somebody who reselling has fitted in to their life and provided that bit of extra income as well. And if I share, my story really is about similar in a way. I didn't fit into the working world, the 9 to 5. I've always been a bit of a rebel without a clue, and no matter what it is, what sort of authority there's there, I will kick back against it. And for some godforsaken reason, I joined the police force, right? Hello. So there's me, police officer, full uniform officer, hating every moment of it. And at this point in my life, I was running a reselling business from home in my spare time and loving it, and doing really well. And I just thought, sod this, I'm walking out. And I just walked out, as I had done on every previous job before that as well. And it just made sense. And I've never been happier than being in control. And what reselling gave me was a way out, really. And for my own mental health, I needed that way out because I wasn't coping, being a little cog in a big machine. And yeah, it was kind of my salvation, really. It sounds over dramatic, but it's true. And I have never been happier, never looked back. And we managed to make it work for us financially. And I wouldn't change a thing. So that's my story, really. So Rod, going back to you obviously you've got a 9 to 5 job. What is it you do, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh God.
Okay.
Well, I'll be going there in 2 hours. I'm actually I'm a turner. I'm on a lathe, CNC machinist. I served my apprenticeship way back at British Aerospace in Manchester. I was there for 12 or so years, got made redundant, been all over the place, lived and worked in the Isle of Man for 2 years, and lived and worked in America, ended up over here. And about a year ago, I would say about 3 years ago, I managed to actually turn a part-time eBay pastime, if you say, into full-time. And I was doing it for the best part of 2.5 years. But, you know, along in life comes certain financial strains on the house, etc. And it wasn't working at that time. So I had to take a back seat, go back into my trade and reevaluate everything and not start again, but think about exactly what I was selling. You know, I think too many people get into this thinking they can just walk into a charity shop, pick up any old bit of, you know, whatever off the shelf for 50p, say, and make like £50. You know, and you can't do that every day. The charity shop, well, certainly not over here. The charity shops aren't full of them gems every day. So, you know, it is hard. So yeah, like I said, I went back into my trade. I'm still there. I am hoping to get out of it again and go back full time, but I definitely need to readdress exactly the kind of items I was selling. I know some of the things I show on the waffle and what have you, like all these DVDs I'm selling at the moment. I could not sustain a full-time living just selling DVDs. It would be impossible. You know, I'd have to be selling 2,000 of them a week, and that ain't gonna happen. You know.
Yeah.
So that, like I said earlier, I have got a couple other eBay accounts which I sell different stuff on, which I'm trying to build them up, be more product selective, as opposed to just picking up any old bit of tat. You know. So yeah.
So, but you can't predict, or you couldn't see a time in your life when you wouldn't have some sort of buying and selling alongside what you do. I mean, like you said, you're hoping then to maybe do it again full time if you can, but certainly it'll be there. I think it's part of you. It sounds like you're describing that reselling it is just part of your DNA. Like,
yeah, it's funny what you said then about every job you've ever had. You've like basically stuck two fingers up to the authority.
yeah,
I'm pretty much of that ilk. I have my missus has pulled her hair out sometimes when I've come home and said, "That's it." I've told them, you know, take your job and shove it, and walked out, picked my toolbox up, and I'll think about what I'm going to do the day after. You know, you kind of mellow out a bit when you have children because you've got that added responsibility, but it creeps back in somehow, and you know,
I think the moment I decided I was going to join the police force was pretty much coincided with the moment we realized we were having our daughter, and it's like, I've got to do something responsible, and you know, I've got to find a career, and I just kind of knee-jerk reaction went into something that I just should never have got into.
Strangely enough, when I was 26, I was actually I was going through the process of joining Greater Manchester Police, but it was a long process. It could take up to a year to get in GMP. And in that time, I went working away. I was in America working. I was in Connecticut. And I got a message off my mother saying, "Oh, you've had a letter to say go and do the final." Well, I couldn't get back in time, and that was the end of that. Probably the best thing that ever happened. I never stepped through the door. So, you know,
yeah.
But,
it was a very, very long drawn out process when I got in. There's a lot of tests, and you know, then I had to go away and live away and train for X amount of months and sit exams, and it was so long winded. And this whole time, Andrea was pregnant and trying to run our little eBay side business on her own whilst pregnant, and it was not ideal. Right, let me read out a few bits in the chat. The mad
I can't read the chat, sorry.
That's okay. The Mad Tatter says a lot of people coming into reselling have no idea how much it actually involves. Some people don't even see the necessity of research.
Yeah,
I think it can look incredibly easy, and all of us who make videos, we love to share the successes. Of course we do, but we have to, I think, and I'm very conscious of this, of sharing the amount of work that goes into it, trying to show a complete picture if I can, but it's all too easy to just show the wonderful sales and the big wins. Oh, George is in. Hi, George. Hi, Karin. Right, I am way behind in the chat. Let's see what's been said.
Yeah, I think for me, when I started off reselling, you know, I'd saved up some money beforehand, so I knew that I had money there to invest and put into it, but it took me probably about 6 or so months before I started seeing a decent return and started, you know, seeing some good profits coming through. It's certainly not something you can do, and you'll within a month or two you'll be like the ultimate eBay reseller ever.
Yeah, and I think you have to realize you have to invest a certain amount back into it quite rapidly.
Yeah.
To build up the items, to build up the stock. Because if you take out all of your profit as you go, you don't have that capital to invest and reinvest in decent stock. So yeah, the first year or so, certainly if you jump in and try and do this full time, if you're doing it full time, that's all you're doing, it's really tough because you're wanting to take out a wage to reinvest. I remember Zahir and Beck charted that with the issues they had with that perfectly, and they showed how difficult it was to jump into reselling completely with no other income to back you up. And when Andrea and I both quit our jobs, she worked for Amazon when she went full time. She left Amazon, I left the police force. But we had, like you said, Andrew, we'd put some money behind us. So we had a little bit of money behind us, and also we'd built up our business in our spare time for about a year beforehand. So we hit the ground running, and I don't think we could have managed it otherwise.
Yeah.
Can I ask if any of you have actually took out or inquired about PayPal working capital?
No.
You haven't?
No, I haven't needed to, thankfully. But I would. I think it's a great scheme. I know Zahir's done it, and Ken, who I used to chat to, Ken Chapman's done it.
Yeah. I've used it about 3 times now.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Do you want to explain for those people that don't know what that is? How does that work?
I'm perhaps not the best one to explain it, but I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Basically, PayPal give you money. No, it's you can apply for a loan, and you only pay back when, say, an item sells, a percentage of that sale go towards repaying the debt.
Yeah.
So there's no, from what I can interpret, there's no fixed term that it must be paid up by, but there is a kind of a minimum requirement which is paid per month. That's how I read it. I could be wrong, but basically, yeah, you apply for the loan through your PayPal account, and they base the amount they're willing to give you on the previous year's activity on PayPal. And I think it's actually very good. I've not found over here cheaper interest rates than what I could borrow from PayPal. So I mean, I've borrowed the last one's due to be paid in about a couple of months, and that was for about 10,000. Obviously Aussie dollars. I don't know what that equates to in pounds anymore. You're still on pounds, aren't you? You're not changed to something else yet.
We're not euros. No, we're still pounds. Thank goodness.
It's a good scheme because for me, I've got no credit rating anymore because obviously I, you know, got massively into debt, but I can apply for it through my business. There's no credit check, etc. Because as you say, it's just literally done on your previous year's income.
Well,
but email,
exactly.
every time I log in now, you see it, apply for this, you get emails about it. But I've got enough stock to keep me going on a part-time basis as it is. I don't need to invest any more money into it. If I was full-time though, I'd definitely be seriously considering it, because full-time I would want to have a massive amount of stock built up very quickly and listed, and that would be a good way.
I think a lot of people fall down with it, and they like you just saying, Nick. People don't reinvest in, they spend the money, and in some cases, people, say they made £200 that week on eBay, they might need that £200 to pay the bills, so they've not got the chance to reinvest. But I do think you do have to reinvest back in. But a lot of people, from what I've heard, who've took out the PayPal loan, are actually using it as a slush fund and relying on sales of the already purchased items just to pay that debt. So they're never moving forward any faster or whatever you want to term it. You have to be a little bit savvy with it.
Yeah.
But I've had about 3 of the loans at the moment, and my missus was a little bit when I was going to get the first one, but she's seen how it's not been a big impact on the overall household finance.
Well, the beauty of it is that, as you were trying to describe, that they take the repayments out of the money that's coming in through sales into your account. So it's managed quite easily that way, really, because they take their money automatically out of whatever you're taking and what you're selling. So, yeah. Right, I'm going to try and catch up with some of these comments because I'm aware I've not been reading them. Lindsay Smith says, been boot sailing since I was 12. Now 44. eBaying is an extension of that. I've always loved buying and selling, always get a kick from a profit, small or large. That describes really well that what we were saying. I think it's in some of us, it's just in us, and we would do it regardless, I think, in some form or another. Certainly I was that guy when I was a kid, wheeling and dealing in whatever I could get my hands on. I remember I had I think I might have shared this before, I had a Master System, and I wanted to sell it because I was moving on to whatever the next console I was buying was. I think it was Game Boy was next. And my mate wanted to buy it, but he didn't have the cash. So I set up a book, and he was paying me weekly for this thing on tick. And I was only like 12. So I had a book, and he'd come around with his fiver once a week or whatever it was. And basically I had a loan with this guy. And that's...
At 12?
Yeah, must have been. Well, when was this? 80... Yeah, it must have been mid-80s. So yeah, 12, 13, that sort of age. And he was like, I really want to buy your computer, but I don't have the money. I was like, that's fine. We can work this out. Yeah, and I did it. But yeah, I think for some of us, certainly, it's just in us, isn't it?
I used to sell, I used to buy crates of cider, and every time we had a bus trip with work, because we used to go to union meetings and whatever, I would sell cans of cider for £3 each from my crate. Brilliant. Used to make a killing.
That sounds so dodgy. Where were you working at this point?
I'm a career civil servant. It's the only job I've ever had. I've just moved through the ranks as I've been promoted to my own level of incompetence. So
what sort of government outfit was going on a jolly with cans of cider on the bus?
We used to do a lot of sports and social club meetings and stuff as well. So we'd go down to football matches and stuff, and yeah, I'd be at the back of the bus selling all the cider.
Okay,
that's not a job. That's a holiday.
I should point out most of it. Well, actually, not all. Quite. We did used to get time off to go on sports and social events as well, but they stopped doing that now, unfortunately. I was going to say some of it was unpaid time.
Becca is in. Hi, Becca, kicking debt's ass, and asks, excuse me, where in Lancashire is Rod from? He sounds like a Wiganer.
I'm not a pie eater. No offense to pie eaters. No, I'm from. There's a little town called Haywood, and it's in between Rochdale and Bury, in the northwest of Lancashire. Is that north? Yeah, northwest. I say to people over here and other people, I'm from Manchester because, well, basically no one knows where Haywood is. Even half of Haywood doesn't know where Haywood is. So, that's where I'm originally from, and I've moved around quite a bit in my life, but ended up over here. It's bloody freezing at the moment over here.
Right, we've discussed this. What you call freezing, we call tropical in the UK.
I know. I can appreciate that. I have, yeah. My blood has thinned out. I mean, I don't know what temperature is now outside. It's probably about 16 degrees, but it's freezing.
That is, we're in the height of summer here, and it's 9 degrees.
Well, it's 3:30 in the morning here, and it's
we've got floods going on here because we got in that much rain. I couldn't get
not a flood. That's not a flood. That's a puddle, mate. It flooded here. Half the country the size of France went under. Oh dear.
Steve's got a comment. It kind of tops your cider on the bus. He says, "I used to sell cigarettes for 50p each at school. Entrepreneur." Wow.
I can add to that because I knew a friend of mine. His dad had a pub, and he used to take cigarettes out of the pub and put the money in the till, so it looked like there'd been a packet sold, but nobody knew where these cigarettes were being sold from or who to. He'd take them into school, do exactly the same thing, but half his clients were the teachers. So he'd sell them to the teachers.
Lex is just talking about how my videos inspired her to get into reselling. I'm pretty sure she was making videos before I was a reseller.
Steve's got a question. I think for me, did you ever have to take a finger from your mate when he didn't pay? Luckily, no. No, he paid it all off. We didn't fall out over it. I still know him today.
Rephrase that.
Yeah, it took me a couple of attempts to work out what he meant there.
Take a finger.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
For another channel, isn't it?
Adrian's saying that was the same as me. I had a granddad that worked at a biscuit sweet factory. He used to bring home big blocks of chocolate. I would take it to school, and the rest is history. Nice. Right, let me scroll down.
I don't think what helped with me growing up was, my sort of all this I ever used to watch on the telly was the likes of, well, Only Fools and Horses and Mind, and it's like that kind of wheeling dealing lifestyle appealed to my nature, and watching them kind of programs didn't help. I think if I'd have avoided them, I might have been weaned off it at some point in my life.
My nickname for the last 15 years of my life has been Del Boy.
Yeah, I get the same thing in the pub. Because whenever a conversation comes up, someone's after something or someone's looking for something, I've got one of them. And what did I sell? I sold a snooker cue the other week down at poker. I sold a set of golf clubs. It's like, I just turn up. What's Nick bought today? Golf clubs, they're for Manny. Here you go. And it's like, yeah. I'm slowly getting renowned for it. I don't really like to talk about work and what I do when I'm playing cards or I'm in the pub, though, because if you get me started, I don't stop, and then I bore people senseless. So I try not to talk about it too much.
I get told to shut up in my own house.
I was going to ask you, Rod, what does your long-suffering wife think about your tap flipping side of what you do? Is she
she's
that
used to it now. She's used to it now. I remember last time I came on your channel and had a chat and told you about the bubble blowers, and there was 500 boxes in the living room and we couldn't get in, and there was one occasion where I ended up buying something like 20,000 tea bags, and there was Earl Grey, I might add. There was a guy in the UK on eBay, and he was selling. When they stopped using Concorde, they sold off all the plates and things that went with it from the airport, the storage facility. And Concorde had its own bone china cutlery and saucers, etc. And it had Concorde British Airways on it. And I bought a job lot of it. And I was doing very well selling it to the Americans. And I ended up with these tea bags. And I thought, well, how can I get rid of these? So I stuck 20 of these Earl Grey English tea bags on a fine bone china Concorde plate, little saucer thing. Stuck some cling film over the top, kind of shrink wrapped it, and was knocking them out for a nice sum of money for a long time. So you just got to be creative, haven't you? But at the time, she couldn't see the creativity of 20,000 tea bags in the house. She could smell the creative. There's nothing worse than the smell of 20,000 tea bags in here, even Earl Grey.
It is sometimes hard to see through the living room full of crap to the profit, isn't it? When we got a van load of stuff, this must be a couple of years back now, and I made a video of when we unloaded the van, and it had nowhere to go but the living room. So I built these towers in the living room of stuff, And Andrea just like was like, this is out of here within a couple of days. It was there for like a week or two. And we made a fortune on that. But there's a thin line I tread with Andrea. She knows and she accepts. And I was like this before she married me. You know, she knew what she was getting into. But yeah, there's a thin line I sometimes tread when I buy van loads of gear. Although to be fair, last time she was down there filling up the van with me. So, you know.
She looks very relaxed with you though on the chat, and when you go and buying these job lots, and you know,
for the most part, yeah, she tried to keep the living room as a non-stock space. So when I filled it up with stock that time, I was treading that line. Yeah.
Is it relaxed though, rather, or is it tolerates?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can answer that one because she's in bed. She can't hear me. So
I've seen your son get involved in a couple of videos. Is he of the same ilk of you? Does he get involved?
Not really. He hates it.
Didn't he pick out some amazing clothing recently?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the youngest son. My eldest, I just use him. I mean, he's a big lad. My eldest. He's you know, I've got to be careful what I say to him because he just throw me around this week. But yeah, he's my he's the muscles of the outfit. I don't know where the brains are. It's certainly not my knee, but they do help. The youngest, we had to go to for a hospital checkup the other week, and we was in an op shop. Yeah, he found two designer shirts. I'd never heard of the brand, and would have probably just gone on by. But it made me think. You know, this is a trade, not trade. This is a kind of job where you're always learning, and you can learn from anyone, no matter whether they're experienced, inexperienced, young or old. You know, my youngest, my 16-year-old lad, is pointing out a shirt which is potentially $230, and you know, I'd have just gone straight on through. You know,
well, in fact, the kids are a great source to learn from. I learn stuff from Ellen all the time. What the current trend is in music or film or fashion or whatever it is, and she's so on it because she is that demographic that's buying this stuff. So yeah, we can learn no end from our kids.
I mean, do you remember the Go Crazy Bones craze?
Yeah,
the little Well, they were huge in the UK, weren't they? And in Australia at the time, they're kind of about 8 months behind with that craze in the playground. My kids had them in the UK, and they were still talking about them when they came over here. I'm going back 9 years. And some, you know, like you say, if you want to know your market, ask the kids. You know, what's selling in the playground? What are kids playing with in the playground? And I started importing the gold collector tins, and I was selling them over here. I had the buy box, as they call it, on eBay in Australia for Go Crazy Bones. I was selling them left, right, and centre. I made a fortune.
We used to sell them in our shop when we had the high street gaming shop, the little gold tins.
Yeah. I don't think they do them anymore. I'm not sure.
No, I think that died a death a long time ago. It's all like Shopkins, and I know Shopkins are quite big. My sister's twins play with them no end. It all moves on rapidly, that stuff.
It was Polly Pocket and Mighty Max when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You played with Polly Pockets?
I played with Mighty Max. I observed the girls playing with Polly Pocket.
Right.
Thrifty Artist Life says, I started eBay as I'm an artist and have been a home carer for the last year. I needed something that didn't require my emotional input, and it's helped pay bills and take pressure off my life. Exactly. And a lot of people's motivation for getting into reselling is exactly that, to take a little bit of financial pressure off. And it's something, it's so accessible to anyone because most people these days have a computer. If not, a smartphone is all you need. Take your pictures, stick it on eBay, and you've got some money coming in. What else can you do from home that's that easy to generate cash? At the same time, we're all saying it's not that easy to build it up into a business, but certainly to supplement an income, it's perfect. And there's so many people I speak to that it's helped them no end with making ends meet. Simple as that. And that's the simplest motivation to do this. And I think it's fantastic for doing exactly that. Oh, Zahir's in. Hello, Zahir. Good to see you.
I think Tom's in as well. He's turned up late.
Oh, there's a lot going on at Tom's at the minute. God,
Yeah, he was
stressful.
telling me earlier there's buildings on our house at the minute because hold at the minute because they're getting flooded or whatever.
Well, he's got a new swimming pool. He didn't intend on having a swimming pool. He's now got one out the front of his house. Bless him.
Tom says he started reselling because no one would employ him.
Well, that's if needs must. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much my career after the civil service decides it no longer wants to employ me.
Is that your end goal, to try and do reselling full time, Andrew, or not? Does it work better as a part time thing for you?
Yeah, no, I'd like to go full time. I'm sort of at the point now in my career where I've done everything I wanted to do, and now it's just sort of on repeat every day. So I'm getting a bit tired of it, and I'm having to travel the country. I'm all over the place with work as well. It just gets exhausting. So when next round of redundancies that they offer, I'll get it, which will give me a nice big chunk of cash, which I can invest half of and use the other half to support me while I build up the business further. Try it out. If it doesn't work out, then I can go back into doing what I was doing before.
Go back to selling cider.
Selling cider on top of the bus. But there's so much. I mean, I just want to kind of play devil's advocate with that. I mean, there's so much you lose going from employment to self-employment. You've got the holiday pay, the sick pay. I'm sure you're on a great pension plan with working for the government, I assume. And all of that is out the window pretty much if you take that jump.
It is.
Have you thought through that side of it?
I have, and but also all the stress that I get on a daily basis from work and from and those sort of pressures are gone. So you know, it's a balance act. It's, for me, it's about what's better for my life and my mental health, really, and that's my sort of priority, is sort of staying mentally well. So obviously there's a pressure there on eBay to generate a certain level of income, or reselling, I should say, because I won't just be on eBay. So, but which is why I'm sort of waiting until I've got that sort of payout, so that pressure eases a bit.
Yeah, I can identify with that totally, and I know we've spoken about this before, but there's a certain kind of stress I can handle, and that stress that I put on myself, and I can switch off from it. I can take time out from this, and I can run it at my own pace, and I don't have someone looking over my shoulder judging me all the time. That's how it used to feel in certain jobs I've had, and that sort of pressure is like such a trigger for me with, you know, stress and stuff. So that's what I don't miss.
If I get micromanaged by anyone, that's it for me. I can't deal with it. Cannot deal with that at all. So yeah, and I have had that before. Last year I had that in work, and so I ended up having to take a few months off, and that's actually when I started reselling to fill that time. So I knew that I could do enough in that few months to build the business that it gave me the confidence that if I needed to, I could go into it full time.
Yeah. I just saw a comment I was trying to read and it's gone. Oh, there it is. Lindsay Smith. My godfather once bought boxes and boxes of biros. Here we go. Half of which didn't work. If this isn't Bellboy, I don't know what it is. After he died, his daughter found a few boxes of them in the attic. Had a good laugh about that. Wow. Half of them didn't work. What a purchase.
That's like me and the menopause pills.
What's that?
What?
I've got a job lot of menopause pills that.
Yeah. Okay. You've mentioned these a few times. Why and how did you come across a job lot of menopause pills?
Oh, I went to the market in Wrexham, and they had this bloke there, and he was just shifting them, and they were like 99p a pack or something. So I did a job lot with him. I just said, I'll take all your stock off you. Give him about 200 quid, and he basically charged me about 50p a pack. And then literally the next week, Home Bargains started knocking them out for 99p as well. So he'd obviously got them, because there's a big wholesaler in North Wales where Home Bargains source from. and all the local market traders do as well. So they'd obviously got them from the same place. So all over the country now they're in home bargains for 99p a pack. And of course, then I didn't show them on YouTube or anything. I just put them on my eBay store. But then all the rest of the reselling community jumped on them as well in home bargains. So yeah.
Can you not rebrand them? Rebrand them as? Can you not rebrand them as, like, I don't know, weight loss pills or something?
I think they would call that lying. I have actually sold enough now to recover my initial investment, but it was like they were 13 quid a pack in boots, and I was paying 50p a pack. So I thought, I'm guaranteed to make money here, and no.
So is there no restriction on eBay for them?
No, because the vitamins and supplements isn't restricted. Over-the-counter medicines is, which is why Shazad cleans up that one. But vitamins, fitness supplements, diet pills, I think diet pills, possibly not diet pills actually, but certainly vitamins and fitness supplements, you're not on. And I've done quite well selling in those categories before.
So maybe just job lotting what you've got. If you're kind of broken even on it, I'd whack them up, job lot, and get something back on the rest. Or are they still trickling out?
They're trickling out, but I think when they come to 6 months from their expiry date, that's when I'll job lot them and just chuck them out.
Yeah, cut your losses, whack it on, and we keep because we can't win at them all. And I've said this many times on this channel. Sometimes the best thing to do is just cut your losses and get your money back.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with doing that. If a deal turns sour, you just get out quick, and I've done that a number of times.
And I think that to me is the key of why I have a diversified inventory as well. So just because one thing isn't doing well doesn't mean there's not 3 or 4 things that are doing well that I can focus on for a bit. So,
Jesus.
But yeah, I'm not sourcing from the market again.
Oh, stay away.
Wow, I'm actually at the bottom of the chat. There's a first. So yeah, if you've got any questions for us in the chat, pop them in. Let us know what you think.
Lindsay's asking which part of the civil service am I in? I'm actually in HMRC. I'm a filthy tax man.
Ooh.
Danny's asking, do I fancy mentoring you? I don't really have time. I've actually been approached by many people to, kind of mentor them and stuff. I don't have time to run my own business efficiently. Only, try and teach someone else how to do it. We share pretty much everything we do on here anyway, so there's not much more I could show you or tell you. You've
got the mentorship program in the chat as well, haven't you? I think there's a few people signed up to that.
Yeah. Go on the chat. Link for that should be below. There might be somebody on there that can, show you the ropes.
Tom wants you to mentor him as well, Nick. You could teach Tom about Amazon, because I hear he's particularly bad at that.
Oh, don't start about Amazon. Jesus, they're winding me up.
Is it true? Sorry.
Go on.
Is it true? Like, I've had a chat over here about Amazon coming to Australia, and it's an absolute bag of ass. And I did use Amazon in the UK when I was there, but I would imagine in the 10 years a heck of a lot's changed. But what is it true that they take roughly around about 40% of what you say you sold something for £10, roughly £4 of it is gone in fees and before you even pay postage, etc.
Yeah, FBA fee can be a big chunk. If you're selling stuff as low as £10, it will be a large percentage. But if you're selling higher value items, obviously that percentage doesn't stay the same.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because a lot of the fee is the fee to pick and pack and store it and that stuff. But yeah, selling low margin stuff to FBA just doesn't really work at all.
I was the other day when eBay went down, we was talking about it on the waffle on Wednesday about, you get a lot of people coming into eBay thinking it's the quick means to an end. And if there was to take away that system or that income stream, what would you do? How many different platforms do you guys sell on? I mean, I sell on a few, but in Australia, we haven't got as broad a range as you have in Europe.
Yeah, I'm basically eBay, Amazon, and that's
Yeah.
I am eBay and Facebook. I get a decent amount through Facebook sales each week. Usually stuff that I can't be bothered. Well, it's usually stuff that I don't want to put the time into shipping
Mhm.
because it require a lot of packaging, things like TVs and stuff like that. I'll do through Facebook, and also because of the convenience of offering local collection. If I'm home, I'll arrange a few people to come and pick up. 50% of them don't turn up, but 50% do. So
yeah. I'm dabbling again with Facebook and Spock and that, but I'm finding it really slow now. Just
So I've heard Peter Ray mention, is it Spock or something? It sounds
yeah,
like something Sean Connery would say, innit? Or Spock. You
yes.
know, we've not. I don't think we've got that over here. If we have, it's hiding somewhere. But I use Facebook quite a lot to shift a lot of the heavier, bulkier items out of the storage units.
yeah.
Things you wouldn't even dream on sending through the post. It's just I was just thinking about it the other day with the fact that eBay went down on it on the Facebook group over here. It was all panic. Oh, the end of the world, and I don't think it helped when I started saying, "Oh, China's meddling." It stirred it up a bit. But yeah, it's just a thought. What avenues other people, and I can't see the chat, so I don't know what.
Yeah,
people
I have. I talked to Steve and Steph over in America. I don't know if you guys have watched them a lot, and they are all about the local sales. But in America, that seems a couple of years further than where we are, and they have various apps, and they do a lot of dumpster diving. They'll fish stuff out. They'll take pictures of it there and then put it on a local app, and it will be sold within a day or two.
Wow.
And we don't kind of have that set up here. I think Spock wants to be that, but it's just full of time wasters and doesn't really work for me. Facebook, I'm finding the same. I was going to ask you, Andrew, do you use local groups or the actual Facebook official selling pages?
So I post onto the marketplace, but I also post the same thing into the local groups as well. Because I find quite often I get sales through the local groups, but it's still on the marketplace. So I get sales from people searching for it on the marketplace, but also people seeing it pop up on their feed.
And do you ship anything through that, or just local collection?
I have shipped stuff through it before, yeah. So
okay,
I'll always say, because sometimes the low value stuff that I don't think that after fees I'm not going to make much on eBay. I'll sometimes offer out on Facebook as well, and I'll offer shipping on that because it's fee free. I still make a bit of a return.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to get into it more, but it just doesn't seem to kind of work with. Maybe it's what I'm trying to sell on there or something. And I know Andrea's experimenting with the clothing apps, the Depop and the Vinted and that, but it's so slow.
I find for me, for Facebook, it's the type of things that you sell on it that make the difference. So it's brilliant for selling televisions on. Absolutely brilliant. There's people looking on it all the time for TVs. Furniture, I sell quite well on that as well.
Right.
I'll pick up stuff off Freecycle or Freebay, or whatever it's called, Freegal, sorry. Put it on Facebook, it's gone in the next day.
Okay. Yeah, because I really do want that to be a part of what I do. And like Rod was saying, almost in a way to protect yourself as well and have those other avenues set up and working. Because, yeah, it's quite fragile, only having two platforms. Certainly Amazon at the moment is quite fragile for me. And, yeah, that's another story. I was going to read Narcoleptic Tinkerer's comment. Do you think eBay represents for many a way out of the rat race towards self-employment? I know I'll be looking at other self-employed ways to make a living. I think it does. It's kind of the first port of call. It worked for me. It gave me my way out. It gave me those options. So yeah, definitely.
I think if you go in full-time self-employed, it's worth having a few different income streams, so that if one goes down, you've got something else to rely on. So eBay goes down, if you're a reseller, you might still have some Amazon income. For me, I used to do blogging and get paid for that, so I used to write content for the website. And if I went back to being self-employed, I'd do that would bring in a few hundred a month for me as well, on top of the reselling. So it's worth exploring what other marketable skills you've got that you can sell and get money for.
Definitely. There was somebody there, Lindsay, asking about, do you get stressed about all the stock in situ? Rod, does your stock stress you out?
Every day. No. I'm not allowed to bring stuff in the house now. And that's partly, well, it's mainly the missus, but I do think you need that separation. I'm very fortunate where I live in terms of storage space. Storage space is not an issue. If I needed to store something, I'd just build a shed around it. I've got the space. But I do need that separation. And I need, to come into the house and there be nothing staring at me. Having said that, yesterday there was a stack of DVDs at the side of me, which I was just casually, while you're watching something on YouTube, you can just bring off, scan on a barcode, bang, it's in. It's like a production line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I try to avoid bringing stuff in the house now. It does. You do need that separation. You go mad.
Yeah,
I don't know how these guys do it who've got stuff. I know there's a few guys on the group and that, and they're selling stuff, and they've got it in the bedroom, and you go down into the living room, and it's there, it's everywhere. And I don't want that kind of situation.
That has been the past year or so of my life, Rod, having stock in every room of the house. I've got 3 bathrooms in my house, only one of which has been usable for the past year. But now I've sort of expanded my external storage. I've got a shipping container and stuff. Everything's going out of the house into there, and it makes such a difference to your frame of mind not having to look at it.
I got
this office now.
Yeah, well, we were saying the office, I think, it could be a game changer for you to get that headspace that you're talking about. I mean, people who watch my channel know I sit surrounded by the stuff, and I kind of veer from one to the other. I love it, and it's almost like a security blanket. I mean, the majority of this isn't even listed, but I know I've got tens of thousands of pounds worth of gear, and I work as hard as I need to, and I need to put that out there. I mean, I used to work 10 times as hard as I do now because I don't really need to anymore financially. But I see this as like a security blanket sometimes. I have the stock there. If needs come to it, I'll bust a gut and bring a load of money in. And I've got a load in the loft. But some days, those days when you come in and you just look at it all and you're instantly sick of it, right? I have those days as well. So I veer between the two. I see it as not a necessity, but as like that's my go-to safety blanket of cash that's sat there waiting to be generated. But other times, yeah, I just want it all gone.
One of the things I was looking at was getting my loft converted. Well, not converted, but getting it boarded, better insulation, and getting a lighting and a ladder going up there. But I just thought in the end, I can't be bothered going up and down to the loft every day to get stuff out. I'd rather just have it somewhere else.
You've got to travel there and pick it up when it sells, and it's.
I have, but it's by the post office anyway, so I'd have to travel there regardless.
Right. Okay.
To ship it, so it's the perfect location for me in that regard.
How big is the container?
I couldn't tell you. 160 foot.
What?
160
That's
foot.
the length of a ship.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's got 1170 cubic foot written on the outside, I think. It's big anyway. It's big enough for me.
Do you not get nervous in it? Do you not get nervous in it?
No, I did think when I was in it that my first flat that I rented was about the same size as this.
I kind of get. I know the doors are heavy and they won't blow shut, but the first few times I went into mine, when I'm at the other end, I was constantly turning around and checking the door was open. I just had this fear that I was going to get stuck in it, and no one would hear my mobile phone in it, and I'd be like, I'd just die.
My view is I can barely open that door, so it ain't getting knocked by anything.
So if we don't hear from you on your channel for a week, should we
knock on the door of the shipping container?
Yeah. Try and get in contact with your wife. I think Rod trapped in his container.
She probably locked me in it.
Yeah. Okay. Out of sight, out of mind is the problem, says Tom. Yeah, I think both of us suffer from that one, Tom. We're very good at squirreling stuff away and forgetting about it and then buying more, which is a habit that I'm trying slowly to get out of.
I am determined to go to the car boot in a week and a half and boot a load of stuff there to sell, to get rid of just what I call car boot corner from the storage unit. But I know as soon as I go to that boot, I'll also fill the car with stock at the same time.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you're going to go and purge your load of stock then? Load of old stock?
Yeah. When I first started reselling, I didn't always pick up the best stuff. So I've got like, you know, they were doing DVDs like 100 for a £5, but they're pretty much worthless now. So I'm just going to sell boxes of them. And I've still got the video rental store that I bought out, boxes and boxes of DVDs from there, and I'm hundreds of pounds into profit on that thing. So now I'm just like, I don't need to make the money from this now. I can just sell it.
How did you come to know about and buy a video store?
I had I bought a rocking horse off a bloke on eBay for 99,
naturally linking to the video,
for 99p on an auction. I turned up at his house.
Hoping to harvest some rocking horse, you know what?
and I flipped that rocking horse for 50 quid. But when I was there, he had his garage open because that was where the rocking horse was, and it was a big double garage that went back quite a way as well, had a workshop on the back of it, and it was absolutely full of videos and DVDs. So I got talking to him. I said, "Oh, where have you got all this from?" And he says, "Oh, I used to own a video rental store, and this is all just my old stock that I couldn't get rid of." I said, "Oh, are you looking still to get rid of it? Because I'll take it off your hands." And he goes, "Yeah." He says, said, "Oh, how much do you want for it?" And he said 25 quid. Like, fair enough.
What?
And then I made that. The first box I picked up was full of Disney videos that went for about 50 quid. So I was in profit straight away.
Yeah.
So, but it does mean that my garage is absolutely full of it. And for a long time, the rest of the house was full. But I sold them. I sold a lot of job lots. I just bundled and put them on Facebook and got rid of them straight away.
You'll find that if you do take all of them to the boot sale, which sounds like the best idea, trying to sell them individually to regular punters, you'll sell like 10 or 20 maybe in a whole day. Yeah. The best idea I'd say is go and find someone. You know, they're at every boot sale and they just have crates of DVDs. I'd go and say to them, "Do you want all of this for X amount?" Because otherwise you'll sell 10 and come home with most of it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
The VHS.
Yeah.
Is that the VHS ones you're on about there?
Yeah, I've got VHSs and DVDs from him.
I found the best thing to do with the VHS is take the sleeve out, throw the tape away, and use the box as a packing container when you're shipping stuff off.
Yeah,
it's nice and secure, closes shut, and it's solid. I pick VHS tapes up for about 10 for $1 kind of thing.
Yeah,
and they all end up in the recycling bin. I just keep the boxes for shipping stuff out.
It's funny because actually the DVDs are pretty much worthless, but the videos, I bundle those up and I can sell, say, 20 videos for 40 quid. It's mad. If I bundle them up around a theme, whack them on, and then somebody comes along and buys them. I don't get it. I don't get who's buying these. I've got a regular customer who every month goes through my video collection and just messages me and say, "Oh, can I have this, this, and this?" And this is giving me like 30 quid a month for him. So
it's bad. It's like the cassettes. I can't wait. I haven't done it yet, but to go through that job lot of 200 or 300 cassettes I've got, because they're in demand now. It's bizarre. You couldn't give them away like 5 years ago, and now people are all over cassettes. It's like, wow, okay.
The thing is, them tapes. Sorry,
go on, Rod.
I was just going to say, the thing is, them tapes, they naturally lose the thingy over time because they demagnetize, don't they? And they magnetize.
They stretch.
Yeah, and
I think the one advantage I've got as well, because it's the contents of rental store, is the X rental videos. So that are much more durable and higher quality. The big box X rentals, so they go for more money as a result because they don't wear out as much.
KLC Reselling is loving Andrew's stories. Excellent.
You're writing this down as a TV series there.
Oh, resellers have the best stories, don't we? Though it's just you can make half of it up. Okay, well, I think we'll start wrapping this one up. Believe it or not, we've been on for well over the hour. Thank you so much for all of your comments. I hope we read out some of the comments and questions. I have put links below to both. What was that? Sounded like a ship coming in.
Somebody phoning me.
Container.
Yeah. Please go and check out Rod's channel. He has a fantastic channel. Follow his escapades down in Australia with the reselling. Andrew, the Money Mental channel. There's all sorts on there, reselling content and cooking. We'll call it cooking, shall we?
And regular quizzes.
And yeah, where'd you get that idea from? I don't know. Yeah, please go and give those channels a sub. I'll be back with my good wife Andrea, who is not here today. She's away with Ellen at a dance show. We'll be back on Sunday for another Sunday Live, so join us for that if you can. And it just remains me to thank you both for joining me, particularly Rod, who's been up. What time is it there? Let us know.
4:10 in the morning.
4:10 in the morning. So dedication to the cause. Thank you so much. And thank you, Andrew, for joining me also.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Bye.